Hey y'all, today I'm showing you how to make 4 holiday staples. We're going to take a whole juicy Cajun turkey. We're going to take those drippings and make it into a delicious sausage and turkey giblet cornbread dressing, some gravy, and we're also going to make a spiced orange cranberry relish. If you love soul food, you have to check out my ebook. It's going to have all the recipes you need for a holiday or a soul food Sunday. Now, baby, we're going to get started on this turkey. I got 2 sticks of softened unsalted butter, and I just love to pair that with the sage, the rosemary, the thyme, straight from my garden, y'all. I have all these spices, and I'm going to list them in the description box. Now, you have to have an oven bag to do this because it's going to keep that turkey juicy. We got apples, some injectable butter, as well as celery, onion, and garlic. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is chop up about 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, and then I'm going to chop up all those herbs. I'm also going to add in a little bit of dried thyme and a little bit of chicken bouillon. Okay, that's just going to add a little flavor under the skin. I'm going to mix that together. Then I realized I forgot to add in my thyme. Okay, can't forget the thyme now. And I'm going to mix that together, and I'm going to place all of this to the side. Now, let me introduce y'all to my 14-pound girl, Rolanda. Yes, you heard me, okay? That's my turkey name today. Okay, now I am going to rub her down and wash her with some water and a little bit of lime. I know some of y'all say we shouldn't wash your meat, okay, but you do what you want to do, and I'm going to do what I want to do. At minimum, I feel like you have to go around and pick out the feathers because there does tend to be a little bit of those left over. I'm also going to take out that neck and those giblets and place those to the side. That's going to be one of the bases for our broth as well as our dressing. Once I am finished, I am going to give one final rinse down to Rolanda. Y'all know she a bad bird, okay? This one looking good. And then I am going to line my roasting pan with paper towels because this is the biggest tray I have. And I'm just going to stick her in that, okay? You need to let all the excess moisture come off or else you are not going to get a nice skin on your turkey. Look. If you want to wash your meat, all you got to do is clean your sink. Okay, we know Dawn be out here cleaning ducks. It be out here scrubbing the floors. Y'all, it can clean your sink. Okay, and you also want to make sure you take out the little whatever's at the bottom of your sink because you're going to have, meat juices on that as well. And then just rinse everything down and you're good to go. If you've already enjoyed this video, go ahead and give your girl a like and subscribe. I am posting soul food recipes every single week. And also let me know what else you would like to see for the holidays. Now, once Rolanda is nice and dry, I am going to take that Tony's Injectables and I'm going to actually pour about half of it into my container. How much you need is going to depend on how big your turkey is. You use about 1 ounce per pound, and I don't want to contaminate what's in the bottle. You may be wondering why I did not brine the turkey, and that is simply because a lot of these butterball turkeys, which is what I'm using today, comes pre-brined, and I really don't want to go through the hassle if I know that I'm also going to inject it. I find that I get enough flavor. However, if you want to brine your turkey, I would brine this with some beer, some citrus, some herbs, and just make sure that you adjust the salt that you're using in the recipe because this injection does already have a little bit of salt. Now, I am going to use this injection all over the breast especially, and I'm also going to be doing the thighs and the legs. Honey, Ro getting a, hips. She getting hip injection. She getting breast injection. She getting everything today. Okay, we setting her up. Now, we're going to go right under the skin, okay, and we're going to just break apart the skin from the meat, okay, because we're going to get that seasoned butter all up in there. Okay, baby, we're going to do her right today. I am going to start pushing most of this butter onto the breast because as it cooks, the butter will just ooze down and baste the rest of the turkey. So you really want to focus on that breast meat, and we all know that breast typically a little dry, okay, and I'm just going to say it. All right, but I am going to go in there and put some on the leg and the thigh as well. And as this cooks, this will also create some delicious pan juices for our gravy and our dressing. And I'm just going to sort of massage it so that I can spread it out, making sure that I don't tear my skin. You are going to need to spray the turkey down with olive oil or some type of liquid oil because really the butter is not going to stick but so well, and you're going to need that oil to make your spices stick. Now you can add as much or as little seasoning as you like, okay? Now you're going to see that I'm going to spice it down. Honestly, I feel like most roast turkey can be rather bland without the seasonings. I'm using a combination of Cajun seasoning, a little MSG. Okay, don't worry about that. Look, if you lived through vid, you still trucking. A little MSG ain't gonna do nothing to you, baby. You all right, okay? Now, once I got all my seasonings on there, I am going to stuff the bird, okay? She gonna be getting some garlic, some apples, some onions, celery, whatever I can get in there just so I can keep the cavity open. And I also want the pan juices to be flavored. I'm also going to put in some herbs, that rosemary, that thyme, that sage, all of this for the flavor, honey. Now, let me know, are you team roast turkey or are you team fried turkey? I actually am more of a team fried turkey, but y'all want to see roast turkey, so I'm going to do it for you today, okay? I am going to get one of these oven bags, and I am going to take about a tablespoon of flour, and I'm going to toss it all around the bag because that's what the instructions told me to do. And then I am going to set my turkey inside of this bag. I have already had my oven preheating to 350 degrees, but you can also cook your turkey at 325. Now, I had to wrestle this big old girl up into this bag. Y'all, she is big. Now, I always love to go for a smaller turkey if I can, but the smallest I could find that day was 14 pounds. Now I'm going to take one of these twist ties that comes with the oven bag, and I'm going to secure it very tightly. And then I'm going to take scissors and I'm going to cut about 6 slits at the top. You want to make sure you don't cut to the bottom because you don't want those pan juices to run. And I am going to cook it until my turkey is about 160 degrees. Use this chart to help you determine how long you need to cook your turkey. I actually got a meat thermometer and I stuck it in the breast, and I took out the turkey when it was 160. After 30 minutes, I'm going to open up Rolanda for the big reveal. Honey, do you see her? Now, don't be afraid to let your turkey sit. It's going to be super hot for a while because the meat is so big, okay? Now I'm going to go in and just baste the turkey in these juices. The easiest way to get this turkey out of this roasting pan is to actually drain the drippings into the roasting pan, but keep the oven bag intact and use the oven bag to sort of like a sling to lift the turkey out. That way you can pick the turkey up and not have any of the meat fall apart. Now, as you can see, this breast is super juicy. Guys, you are going to love it. And my favorite part, honey, is that wing. Yes, baby, I went ahead and ate that before anybody got into it, okay? Let me know if you are going to try this turkey recipe, and I am going to show you how to make a delicious broth. Okay, now I have that giblet and I have the neck. And I am going to put this in the Instant Pot with some of the onions, the celery, and the carrots. These were left over from the turkey and some garlic cloves. I'm going to add in bay leaves, thyme, rosemary, sage. I'll also be adding in some hot water. It helps the pressure cooker come up to temperature faster, but of course you could just use, water from the sink. I am also going to put in a tablespoon of chicken bouillon and just a pinch of poultry seasoning. I do not add a lot of salt to this because you're going to combine this with the turkey drippings and that is going to be salty. I pressure cook this for 25 minutes and then I'm going to drain this. If you don't have a pressure cooker, of course, you could just simmer this on the stove for a few hours. For the dressing, y'all, I'm going to use 1 box of Jiffy and I'm going to combine it with 1 cup of Martha White. Okay, somebody online told me it was good, and you know what? When I did it, it sure enough was good. I am going to put in 2 eggs, a little bit of oil, as well as some milk, and I am going to mix this together. I am going to end up cooking this at 400 degrees for about 18 to 20 minutes. You just want to watch it. Now, I've already had Sister Martha. Y'all know, okay? She's been heating up in the oven with a little bit of oil. and I'm going to put in my cornbread mix, and then I'm going to pop this in the oven. This is best done the night before, but I'm going to tell y'all the truth, the whole truth, so help me God. Honey, I did this the same day. I let it sit out for about 1 hour, and then I went on about my cornbread dressing business. All right. Once it had cooled enough, I went ahead and cut it up with a knife just to help it get out the pan. And now I'm going to start on all the veggies. All right, I chopped all of them up, added a little butter to a pan, and then I'm going to go in with that trinity. Okay, you know, the onions, the bell pepper, the celery. And I am going to saute this with a little bit of Creole seasoning just to help bring out the moisture in the vegetables for just about 3 to 4 minutes. Then I am going to go in with the garlic. I'm going to add that in later because I don't want that to burn. You see that goldenness that is getting on the vegetables? That is going to add tons of flavor. I'm going to go in with some salt-free Cajun seasoning and then about 12 ounces of sage sausage. If you enjoy a little bit of spice, hot sausage is actually really nice in this recipe. I am going to allow the sausage to get brown, and then I'm going to crumble it up finely with my spatula. You don't want huge chunks in your dressing. Now let me know, do you actually put sausage in your dressing? I know a lot of people don't play with the pork. Okay, so if you don't, then you can actually follow my chicken and dressing recipe, or you can just cook like 1 or 2 chicken legs, break it up and put that in there, and that's going to be great. I'm going to season this just with a little onion and herb seasoning, a little poultry seasoning, and we are going to start to assemble this dressing. Now, I have already taken the turkey necks and the giblets, and I have chopped them up very finely so that I can add them to the dressing. I add about half of them. I don't want the dressing to get too meaty. The rest of them, I just leave and put at the side for people that want to add it to their gravy. I'm then going to begin to mix everything together, and I am going to be using the turkey drippings as the broth. Now, you're not going to see me put a ton of extra salt in this recipe because the turkey drippings have a lot of flavor, and you don't want anything to really compete with what is in there. In total, I used 2 1/4 cup of a combination of the turkey drippings and the turkey stock. And I added half of a can of cream of chicken. I did not add the whole can because I felt like it was going to get too moist. Now, really the thing with dressing is that you just have to look out for the texture. So you want a texture that is similar to mine. It is probably going to appear to you to be too wet. However, when you bake it, it is going to be perfectly moist. So just look at where I got mine. And then I add 1 egg and I mix that together. Then I am going to take my cast iron skillet and I'm going to spray it down with a little bit of spray oil just to help it not stick. And yes, this is the same one I made the cornbread in. All right. I am going to cook this in a 375-degree oven for about 45 to 55 minutes. You want to cook it until the top is golden and the edges are nice and crispy. Here is my dressing out of the oven. I'm just going to show you guys how tender and delicious it is. This is the best dressing. Let me know if you guys are going to try this with your turkey drippings. If you don't have turkey drippings, you can even roast some chicken the day before and use the drippings from that. Now, up next, I'm going to show you how to make an easy turkey gravy. I have about 2 tablespoons of butter. And into that, I am going to be putting about 2 1/2 tablespoons of flour. Now, as you see me do this, you're going to see that I actually could have added more butter. However, the turkey drippings are full of fat, and I did not want the gravy to become oily. So I'm going to show you guys a technique that I use in order to make sure there's no lumps. I am going to saute the flour in the oil in the pan for about 1 to 1.5 minutes. And then I am going to slowly add a little bit of the drippings at a time. Every time I add in a little bit of the drippings, I'm just going to smooth it out into the flour and the butter mixture. Doing a little bit at a time is going to help you work out any lumps before you add in all of the drippings. If I were to just dump them all in at one time, then there definitely would be a lot of lumps. Once I have in about a cup and a half of the drippings, I'm then going to pour in some of the broth. That broth doesn't have a lot of fat on it, so that's going to balance out the drippings. I'm going to let this simmer for about 10 minutes on medium-low heat. That's going to cook the gravy and allow it to thicken. If you want it thicker, you can add in some more cornstarch and water. If you want it thinner, of course, add in a little bit more turkey broth. As it cools, it will get a little bit thicker. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you how to do is this spiced cranberry orange relish. This is an absolutely delicious, crowd-pleasing cranberry relish. I have a 12-ounce package of fresh cranberries. Into that, I'm adding 8 ounces of crushed pineapple, a few cinnamon sticks, 1 pack of orange gelatin, as well as half of a cup of sugar. I'm going to throw in a couple allspice berries, 2 fresh mandarin oranges that I've already peeled, and about 3/4 to 1 cup of water. I am going to place the lid on and I'm going to allow this to simmer just until the cranberries are cooked. That's going to take about 5 minutes. Then I am going to cut off the heat and I'm going to add half of a cup of chopped pecans. Now, of course, nut allergies need not do this, all right? I'm going to mix this together, then put this in a container in the fridge for at least 6 hours. When it is thoroughly chilled, you should see that it's going to be a little stiff, like Jell-O, all right? But you're just going to mix it together, and you are going to have an amazing cranberry relish. Y'all know this is basically like jelly, honey, okay? Of course, before you serve this, you need to pick out those allspice berries and the cinnamon sticks. Let me know what recipes from this video you guys are going to try. I am so thankful for all of my followers. I love you all. Jesus loves you all. He is the Savior of the world. In such dark times, you can run to Him. God bless you all, and I'll see you next time at Kamira's Kitchen.